Hi, everybody. This is Jamie Leatheroff, your host of Locker Room Talk with Jamie. And today's today is September 3rd, 2020. This is episode one. And we're gonna talk about the intersection of sports and self-advocacy. Um, Today's start of the week is oh yes, I had it on this page. Did you know that the Special Olympics is in more countries than the regular Olympics or the Paralympics for that matter? My rant of the week is about the US Open tennis, wheelchair tennis, that when they first announced the US Open was going to be played this year at Flushing Meadows without any fans, which is very weird. But when they first announced, they said no wheelchair tennis, no doubles, we're just gonna do singles. Well, everybody in the Paralympic world flipped out. And I'm like, well, they can't doing doubles, so it's not that they're excluding wheelchair tennis. They're just paring down the events that they have. You know, they ended up including them back into the program in the second week, which is great news, but still, that first week, I'm like, they're excluding, they're taking out doubles, men, women, and mixed doubles, and so it's not kind of excluding people with disabilities. But that's it. This week is an introduction to, so who am I? I'm Jamie Leatheroff, born with a disability, but that does not, define me. How did I become a sports fan? Well, I was in the hospital and had major surgeries on a lot of part of my body. And while in the hospital, the only thing that was on, and this was the early 80s, so pretty much the only thing that was on was Channel 5, and they had Candlepin Bowling with Don Gillis, Candlepin doubles, and then they had ABC's Wide World of Sports on. And at that time, ABC had a murderer's row of great announcers. From Chris Schenkel on the Pro Bowlers tour to Howard Cosell to Jack Whitaker, and my favorite of all time, look him up, kids, Jim McKay. What into that Google machine, and he was the absolute best reporter, host, and Wide World of Sports covered, excuse me, everything. When they say Wide World of Sports, it was a wide world of sports. So this show will be about the intersection of sports and disability. We hope to cover Special Olympics, both local, statewide, and international, and the Paralympic movement and other disability and unified related sporting events. This show will not have any fantasy sports. I I I like rooting for teams and not athletes. Yesterday, one of my other podcasts had a guest, and he was talking about the Cleveland Browns and how he loved the Cleveland Browns. Then in the next sentence, talking about other players in a fantasy football draft. I'm like, you can't have either you love Baker Mayfield or some other quarterback. Um, I was I was born in Massachusetts, but when covering sports, my philosophy is to cover events, not teams. I root for good games, not teams necessarily. Teams, although coming from Massachusetts, I do root for the Bruins and the Celtics and the Red Sox and the Patriots. Some of the segments we are planning is to spotlight a local athlete or team of the week. At the end of each month, we will have a guest interview from the world of disability sports. My favorite sport, and the one I played the most, is soccer. But I like all sports. Yes, I know I played the Special Olympics soccer, but I still am competitive, unlike my teammates that are not. Most Special Olympic athletes go to Special Olympics for the camaraderie and fun. If it was just the sports, if it was just the competition, I would still be playing for the most part. But all the rest of, walking 5 feet and have to stop so they can count. And, I understand that because we lost an athlete one time. Another team had the same type of shirt on, and she just had her head down and was walking and walked into the wrong team. So I get it, but if it just was the competitive aspect, then I would be more apt to be involved. But like I said, I love all sports. In fact, when I was young, ESPN was in their infancy, and it would show any and all sports. And one of those sports was Australian rules football. And I still love it to this day. And also back in 1995, I was the TV reporter. Some of you may remember that I was a TV reporter back in '95 for when the Special Olympics World Games came to New Haven, Connecticut, and I worked for the ABC affiliate. The ABC affiliate in New Haven, and actually was nominated for an Emmy Award for our coverage of that. It was actually the '95 Special Olympics Connecticut state game, but I was part of that coverage as well leading up to the World Games. So that was really cool. Our local team of the week is Killingly High School football team located in Killingly, Connecticut. Last season, they went 11-2. They were the state champion in 1981, 1996, and 2017. Chad Neal is the head coach. He returns for his 16th season and has gone a remarkable 43-6 over the last 4 seasons. They have won the Eastern Connecticut Conference Championship in 1981, 1996, 2009, 2011, 2015, 2016, and 2018. They host Plainfield on September 25th for their first game on their turf field. We wish them nothing but success this season, and know Coach Chase Wood is watching over you. So the best and worst of the week is that one of the best things is a Game 7 in any sport is the most exciting thing there is. Because one team will win and move on, another team will lose and have to go home. So even if they're in a bubble, there's no home team like they are this year, it's still exciting. The worst of the week is wrestling fans. I'm a big wrestling fan. But sometimes wrestling fans can get on, rants and get on, oh, we want to change the date of this event. We want to move it to, why can't it move to Tuesday? Well, the last several weeks, both NXT, which is WWE, and All Elite Wrestling, AEW, have had to move their shows from a different day of the week because of playoff basketball and hockey. So last week, All Elite Wrestling got its best ratings for a while because they were run unopposed. And so people say, oh, why can't it move to Tuesday? Well, first off, the wrestlers, the vice presidents of AEW, Cody Rhodes, the Young Bucks, and then Kenny Omega wanted the show on Tuesday, but TNT, who signed their contract to televise them, stated that they wanted it on Wednesday. So it's not like they're going to change anytime soon. Thanks for tuning in this week, and next week's topic, we will talk about the U.S. Golf Championship, men's. So stay classy, sports fans.